Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, we're going to be going over the market, make this one a little bit faster because it's, in my opinion, not a whole lot to talk about that we haven't already discussed, but nonetheless, let's just jump into it. The market is closing in about 15 minutes, recording this one a little bit early, but nonetheless, Tesla ending the day down about 2.5 to 3%, putting us around 156 or $7, somewhere around that range by the time it actually closes, which again, as per usual, at this rate, I think we're just used to this red, right? Another red day for Tesla. What else is new? So let's discuss it quickly, figure out what's happening and what we can expect going forward. So guys, all that being said and done today, the FOMC meeting did happen. Jay Powell did speak. Thankfully for us, it wasn't anything completely wild or completely unexpected. For the most part, everything came in more or less in line, and seemingly the market is a little bit red, of course, on it. But it wasn't anything substantial or anything completely surprising or weird or off guard or anything like that, which overall seems to be pretty okay so far. Now, again, like I said before, the market to me does look a little toppy, so I'm very curious to see where this turns into, to the point where I am actually potentially considering getting puts on the market just as a hedge. I'm not sure yet though. However, moving on to Tesla specifically, right? Again, around 156 or $7 per share. Looking still not so great, right? It's not really showing any major signs that it wants to reverse just yet, other than the fact that it's just getting really close to some what should be major supports, which definitely will be this very low 150s, like 153 to 150 area should in theory be major support, mainly because, again, as we talked about it, this whole area right here. So I'm definitely expecting it to probably come down to like 153 at this rate, maybe tomorrow. And then I expect a pretty massive bounce from there. That's just kind of what I'm expecting. Whether or not we get it or not is the question. But at the very least, I expect at least some form of bounce, maybe up to like even close to 180s. And then we'll see what happens from there and where it actually takes us. Or at the very least, maybe we'll just bounce up to this overall blue line, which will, if in theory that were to happen, sometime this month, let's say, that will take us to about 170, in the 170s, I guess is what I'll say, depending on how fast or late it happens. So that's essentially what I'm personally expecting, because Tesla, in my opinion, is still primed for a bounce. Now, the good thing about the FOMC and the CPI being out of the way is the fact that a lot of this potential, uneasiness, uncertainty, this kind of like anxiety in the market, waiting up for this, like what's the data going to be, what's J Powell going to say, what's the rate hike going to be, all this like uncertainty is now not really so much uncertain, because it quite literally happened and we quite literally got the information the market, was waiting for and anticipating, and that removes a lot of uncertainty, at least for the short term, until of course we rinse and repeat the cycle again for the next CPI, the next FOMC, all that stuff next month and whatnot. So all in all, it's not that bad. All in all, it's looking pretty okay for now. I mean, it's not, but in terms of potentially hopefully finding at least some relief, I think maybe at least for Tesla, it's looking like maybe once it gets to slightly lower, potentially maybe again like 153-ish, 152, maybe as low as 150. Hopefully is where we can find an actual bounce, most likely up to this trend line, this blue line, which again will take us somewhere into the 170s in my opinion, probably by sometime like within the next week or so is my personal guess at the very moment. Now, whether or not that actually happens, no one knows, but that is my current projection. And other than that, there's really not a whole lot to talk about, right? The overall major indicators, you can see the Bollinger Band, you pretty much actually hugging the red line, which I didn't think we would, but we clearly are once again. We haven't even touched the green line in who knows how long, since all the way back here, pretty much just about almost a month ago, right? And ever since then, we've just been pretty much crashing. Actually, more than a month ago. Actually, just over a month ago. Yeah, about a month and a half ago now, actually. So, yeah, so that's something to consider. We've been pretty much hugging the red line ever since. We haven't even got close to the green line ever since. I mean, this was, I guess, kind of close, but definitely didn't get to it or touch it, right? Which is something to consider. And on top of that, if you look at, and this is potentially bullish, but kind of looking not so good at the moment, but it could turn into something that's good, is the moving average on the weekly chart, the 200 moving average, which in theory should be extremely solid support, something that everyone's been waiting for Tesla to actually come down to, which it's completely skyrocketed past ever since all the way back here in 2020 of March. However, unfortunately, we are below it at the moment. So what I would personally see, and essentially I guess my goal for Tesla for this month, what I would love to see is for it to recapture this 200 moving average, which is putting us at just over, actually just under 164. Sorry, something in my throat. Ooh, something in my throat there. Excuse me. Anyways, that's my kind of goal for Tesla. I really want to see it come down, or come above rather, this 200 moving average, which again will be around that 163, 164 area, and try to hold it by the end of this week, ideally, so that this week it closes above it. If we can do that, in my opinion, that's actually looking primed for a bounce, and that would make me quite more, like, I guess, convinced that a bounce will actually happen. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers for that, and that's the main thing I'm looking for, to the upside, and to get some potential bullishness back into the stock that just feels like it's nothing but red at this point, which it pretty much is. And for the flip side, if you're a bear and you somehow are greedy enough to want even more from the stock to fall down, which it already has so much, the bears have been eating very graciously on this stock so far, you know, and kudos to them, of course, right? It's, you know, about time in all honesty. However, even with that being said, you know, the stock has fallen dramatically, and if the bears want something even more than this, then you definitely want to see 150 start to lose control, and you want to see it probably come down to potentially 130s, maybe even as low as 120s. That's essentially what the bears want to see. But other than that, that's kind of what I'm seeing, guys. Let me know what you think. Bit of a shorter, quicker video, kind of to the point, because I also have to go to the gym. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys for the next one tomorrow. Peace.